All right, what's up, everybody? It is Pastor and this is week 2 of my epic summer. This week's theme is Superfans. So hopefully you guys are out there. My epic summer. That again. Hopefully you guys are out there watching. I'm glad to be with you again tonight. Just kind of quick reminder, if you are there, make sure you comment your name or say hello or something like that. Hello to you, Abigail's Breakfield, Ann Rogers, Amira, Richard, Braylon and Alexis, Wilfredo, Sarah, and I'm assuming Abby is with you as well. So if you're out there, make sure you leave a comment. Let us know that you're watching, because all I can see is numbers over there on the screen. Whether you're on maybe you're on Facebook and you're watching as well. Again, just leave a comment there and we will find it. All right. So with all of that being said, I need to get back to my correct screen. We are going to talk about a couple of things really fast, maybe a couple recaps for those of you who missed last week. And basically what that is, I want to talk to you about how to win, okay? So as you can see there, show up. You're here right now on our YouTube Live, which means that you got 1,000 points just for being here. All right, if you suited up, if you dressed up in your favorite fandom, listen, 3 or 4 people have already sent me pictures. You can send pictures right now while you're watching. If you have a shirt that represents one of your favorite fandoms, you can go and change into that shirt and come back and send a picture. Maybe you just want to wait till we get on the Zoom call and show, hey, I'm wearing a fandom shirt. Whatever it is for you, that'll work. You get 2,000 points for that. You actually get 3,000 if you post it publicly on social media. You bring somebody with you to the live or the Zoom call or both, you get 4,000 points. Suck up, step up, heads up, all those things. You can look at our Instagram feed for more. If you have any more questions, you can send me a message and I will answer those for you. Also, real fast, next week our theme is Revenge of the Nerds. So dress up as whatever nerd means to you. You know, whether that's kind of science, glasses, whatever it is, you get some points for dressing up in that. All right, cool. So I need to get over here to where I'm trying to be. All right, there's Dez. How's it going, Dez? Yes, Will, a hat does count. Sorry, my chat is acting up big time. It's like tripling everything you guys say, so quadrupling. Anyways, we are going to play a game, and our first game is called Brandless Brands. All right, so here is how this particular game works. I'm trying to set up my desk right here while I share with you guys the rules of this game. Okay, so Brandless Brands, here's how it works. I'm going to show you an image. And you're going to guess what that brand represents. It's not going to have any logos. It's not going to have any letters. So you're going to have to kind of figure that out on your own. And the first person to correctly comment the name of this brand is going to get a point. And then the person with the most points at the end of the game is going to win. All right. The reason we're doing this is because some people, you've heard maybe this concept of brand loyalty. So some people are super fans of, specific brands. All right. So my comments here are going super wonky. So the first person to, what's up, JT? The first person to comment the correct answer is going to, hey, Holland, is going to get the points for that one. Okay, so here's the first one. It's actually a 2-parter. Hey, that's just the directions. Let me remember where I'm at. Here we go. That's a 2-parter. So here's the first one, round 1. All right, it's this and this. All right, this and this. So I'll click back through it a couple more times. The first person to correctly guess what brand or company this represents is going to get the points for that answer. Just put it in the comments. All right, I'm watching the comments. I know there's a little bit of a lag between me and you. All right, this and this, this, and this. Hey man, just guess something. Even if you're not sure, you can still just guess. And I'm not seeing any guesses. So let's see. Trying to wait a couple more seconds. All right, Holland is saying red box. That is not correct, but at least somebody finally guessed, or at least I saw a comment finally. There you go. Richard's got it. It is Marvel. Great job, Richard. All right. Okay, and well done to the leaders for holding off a little while and letting other people guess. So now you can kind of see how this works, what this looks like. So we'll jump to round 2. Hopefully it'll be a little easier. It looks like this. All right, white and gray, white and a little bit of gray. What brand does this represent? It's gonna morph into a logo in a minute. That was hard, Richard, you're right. They're gonna get hopefully a little easier. All right, the next one after this one is definitely gonna be easier. All right, come on. Let's see, white and gray. We're gonna skip this one because, all right, Alexis is saying Xbox. No, you're kind of on the right track though. It is computer based. All right, we'll go 5, 4, 3, close, Sarah, but it's not a Wii. 2, 1, and it's Apple. All right, that's kind of a hard one. Apple doesn't use that branding super consistently, but there you go. All right, this next one, get ready because you're gonna know it. So you want to get your fingers ready. Here we go. And here's the next one. All right, what is it? What brand does that image represent? I know you know this one, so type it in fast. There you go, Alexis. That is correct. It represents Netflix. All right, so. All right, good job. So Alexis, Holland, Des all jumped in on there. But it is Netflix, and I knew when you spelled Netflix that you meant Netflix. I don't know who that is. I can't answer the phone right now. Here we go. All right, round 4. All right, think colors of the brand on their website. I think in some of their advertising, these 2 dots move around to become a different shape. All right, but kind of think about a company that uses these 2 specific colors. I'm going to try to wait a couple seconds here for the lag. Honey is not correct. Good guess though, Holland. Okay, and let me check over here because my comments here are going crazy. All right, we're gonna give it about 5 or 6 more seconds for somebody to jump in with the right guess. And I'm not seeing anybody, so the answer is Amazon. All right, that was again kind of a hard one. All right, we're gonna jump around. If I think it's too hard, we'll skip it and go to the next one. This one's pretty easy though, actually. This one's pretty easy. You should know this one. All right, so jump on here and let me know what brand did these colors represent. All right, what brand kind of jumps to your mind when you see these colors? All right, Des, it is Google. Alexis, I understand where you're coming from there, saying Chrome, but the correct answer we were looking for was, in fact, Google. All right, the next one, let's see, yep, so that was Google. I'm going to give you about 5 or 10 seconds. If you know this one, you're going to know it right away. If you don't know it, then you're not going to know it because it's kind of tricky like that. So we'll go about 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Netflix or Nailed it. All right, it's Spotify. Okay, that one was, like I said, it's kind of tricky. They do use those brands, but that wasn't enough to go on. This one could be kind of easy. Who was a good guess, Holland, for that last one? This one could be kind of easy if you know about this particular kind of thing. I'm going to let it sit up there for just a few seconds to see if anybody's got a good guess. And then we're going to move on to the next one. It is not Disney. Good guess, though. They do use those colors. It is not Old Navy, Will. Another good guess. Think vehicles. Think something you can drive. All right, a lot of Old Navy guesses. Actually, it does look real similar to Old Navy. But think something you can drive. Think something you can drive. A car company. That's your hint. Yes, Wilfredo. It is Ford. Very good job. All right, we've got 3 more, but basically I'm going to say we're going to be done as soon as somebody gets a second point. So we've got 4 people with a point on the board. This is another one. Don't think about the shapes. Think about the colors on this one. What is a company or a brand that uses these colors? Okay, kind of think outside the box. Des, you got 2 correct, but you weren't the first one on one of those. Someone else beat you by just a little bit. All right, so what's this one? That orangish red and pinkish purple. Think about if those things were in a gradient. Alexis, it is not Taco Bell, although now that you said that, I am very hungry. Okay, think about these things in a gradient overlay over a shape. I'm going to give you about 5 more seconds before I show you the answer. And I'm not seeing anybody, so the answer is Instagram. That's that gradient of the orange, then the red, and then the pink. Okay, next one, kind of thinking along that same vein with the colors that blend into the logo. Tell me what this one is. All right, 3 pretty distinct colors if you think about the branding of this company. TikTok is correct. All right, so Alexis and Des, you both kind of came in there at the same time. And since there was a little bit of controversy with Des thinking she already had 2 points, and I don't even know what that here over the internet, we're going to just say that Alexis and Des are the winners of that game. So congratulations to you both. We are going to end that game as soon as I can remember how. Hey, that's how. Here I am. Do you like my haircut? I hope you do, because I love it and I don't feel like a homeless person anymore, although I do low-key miss my headbands just a little bit. Anyways, for the next game, we're going to ask people to jump back on with us and play the game as we go. All right, I just dropped a link in the comments. If you hit that link, it's going to give you the opportunity to jump onto the live stream with me, and then you'll get to play a round of our next game, which is called 7 in 11. So, if anybody wants to jump on here, wait a couple more seconds, and you get to get some points. Just if you're successful at this game, you're going to get some points. So I'm waiting on some people to. Okay, here's one group. There's another group. So you can continue to click on that link. We're gonna let these guys go first, and then we'll come to you, Holland. And again, if some other ones of you want to jump on a stream, please feel free to do so. All right, Alexis, are you going first?
Hi.
Hey,
there's 3 of us.
Yeah, I know. So which one of you 3 is going first?
I will. I want to echo his.
All right. So Braylon's going first. Let's see.
Yes.
Let me get my stopwatch here. All right, so this is called 11 in 11, or 7 in 11.
No idea what that is. What to say?
Okay. Speak English. All right, so it's called 7 in 11, and here's how it works. All right. Oh, that's not how it works. That's the directions. I'm going to give you a category, okay, and you have 11 seconds to name 7 things in that category. Do you understand?
Oh, okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
The category is fast food restaurant.
Wait,
Go.
Taco Bell, KFC, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, and Arby's.
You got one more unless I missed one.
No, say one more. Just Sonic.
I guess I'll let you have it. All right, Alexis or Braylon, do you want to go while you're on there?
What?
I said, you're Braylon. Alexis or Wilfredo, do you guys want to take a turn while you're there?
You got it.
Sure.
All right, Alexis, here you go. Your category is sodas. So brands or types of sodas. You have 11 seconds to name 7. On your mark, get set, go.
7-Up, Mountain Dew, Coke, Coke Diet, Sprite. There's Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, and Orange Crush. There's Grape Crush.
All right, you got 9. Well done. Well done. All right, Wilfredo, are you going?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay.
This is the brand.
Here we go. Your category, Will, is NFL teams. 7 of them in the next 11 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
Broncos. Buccaneers is not an NFL team.
Oh, come on.
I watched college.
That's a little bit of a tough one. But
I can't do that one. I watched college. I was about to name
We're a college family.
Yeah.
I'm calling.
Broncos. All right.
Broncos is the
I'm
only one I
going to
watched.
kick you guys off, and I'm going to bring Holland on, and then Des is going to go. So thanks for playing, guys. I'll see you later. All right. What's up, Holland? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for joining. Here we go. Your category is candy bars. You like candy bars?
Yes.
All right. So let's see if you can name 7 candy bars in 11 seconds. On your mark, get set, go.
Hershey's, Crunch, Reese's, M&M's, Zero Bars, Snickers.
You got one more. Twix.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatchamacallit. 5 book, whatever that 5 thing is. Great try, though.
Oh yeah.
That link is still there if anybody else wants to jump on. Great to play with you there. Holland, thanks for playing. Okay, Des, you're up. How's it going?
I'm stressed.
Why are you stressed? Category is music groups or bands. All right. Hold on, I didn't say go. I didn't say go. I didn't say go. All right, go.
Hillsong United, Bethel, Young and Free, Group One Crew, For King and Country, Holland, the Beatles.
All right. You said the Beatles, but you were like 1.5 seconds over. So congratulations to you. All right, so we are going to kick Des off as well. And I'm going to come back, maybe. Hey, yeah, there's me. How's it going, everybody? So, if you want to jump on and play another round of 7, 11, you want to jump on and play it after I'm finished with my message. That's totally fine with me. You know, anybody else who's kind of out there watching in YouTube land, we would love to have you jump on with us. But and I know some of you guys are having some connectivity issues. It's okay too. But that link is going to stay there. It's going to stay active for the next little while. But here's the thing. I have a message that I've prepared for you guys. It's one that I'm excited to share with you. But it's going to be a little weird because I'm trying to preach off some notes, but I'm standing here at my desk, which I remodeled my office this past week, so I got a cool basketball picture and a movement, whatever, you don't care. Anyways, so just kind of bear with me. I'm going to try to put my notes up here so that you're not looking at the top of my head, but if I have to move it, you kind of see what I'm saying, okay? So, anyways, today's theme is Superfans. All right, you can find super fans of almost anything. Sports fans get dressed up, paint their bodies to cheer for their teams, or they wear jerseys and all that other kind of stuff. Thousands of people attend conventions centered on on comic books or TVs and movies or even sneakers. Music fans fight each other constantly over social media and give themselves weird little names like Swifties or Believers or Barbs or Little Monsters, or, I myself am a member of the Beehive. But anyways, everyone listening to me right now is a huge fan of at least one thing, probably lots of things, right? And if you've been around for a while, you know that one of the things that I'm personally a big fan of is basketball, right? I love basketball. I love watching basketball. I love playing basketball. I love reading about basketball. I love watching documentaries about basketball. I love playing video games about basketball. I just love basketball to the point that my son and my wife oftentimes get frustrated with me because they're like, just this morning, Liam's like, "Are you going to watch that basketball show again?" I'm watching like a 20-hour basketball documentary. I'm watching it over like several weeks. But he's like, "Are we doing that again?" Anyways, I love basketball. I'm a super fan of basketball in a lot of ways, right? And my favorite basketball team is the Detroit Pistons. And even though I grew up just 45 minutes away from where the Pistons play, they were not my first ever favorite basketball team. They weren't even my second ever favorite basketball team, but they are the one that is closest to my heart. About 2002, when I was probably 17 years old, I finally decided, you know what, okay, I don't like the Magic anymore. I don't like the Raptors anymore. The Pistons are my hometown team, so that's my team. And I started rooting for the Pistons really a lot. Like, I rooted really hard for them to the point that I almost broke my hand from punching the ground of a house that I was living in because I was so angry that they were losing in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I was punching the ground in anger and frustration and almost broke my hand, and it was painful. But anyway, I rooted for them I remember cheering loudly when they won the championship in 2004 and hurting deeply when they lost the championship in 2005 to the San Antonio Spurs because Rasheed Wallace forgot to guard the inbounder, and that's a conversation for another day. Anyways, during that time and even after that, I bought, jerseys and hats and shirts and posters and pretty much everything. I was a Detroit Pistons super fan to the point that when I moved to North Carolina in 2008, one of the things that I was most upset about was the fact that I would not be able to watch the Pistons on TV anymore because they don't play Detroit Pistons games in Fayetteville, North Carolina. They hardly even play Charlotte Hornets games. But anyways, unless I wanted to pay extra money, which I could not afford at the time, right? I remember counting down the days until I could finally afford NBA League Pass so that I'd be able to watch my beloved team again. The first year that I could afford League Pass was the year that the Pistons made it to the playoffs for the first time in like 5 years. And in the next year, I thought it was going to be even better. I was like, okay, so they made the playoffs. They're going to go again, and things are good. They're just going to keep on turning the corners, and they're going to be great, right? Nah, that wasn't the case. The next season, they had some injuries. They started losing way more games than I thought they were going to. And that season, I ended up canceling the League Pass subscription that I've been waiting so long to get and ignoring the Pistons for the rest of the season because they didn't do what I expected them to do, and they were getting hard to watch because they just weren't a good basketball team. And I actually did the same thing this past year before the season was postponed because they traded my favorite player. I even thought about changing my allegiances and starting to root for the Charlotte Hornets. The thing is, I still love the Pistons, but I'm not devoted to the Pistons unconditionally, right? I'm a fan, but I'm not committed to following them no matter what. And most of us are probably the same with our own fandom. If one of the people or groups or things that we stand strongly to change their direction, we would leave that to find something or someone that we thought was better. And I'm not even saying that this is necessarily a bad thing. It can sometimes be a healthy thing to leave a fandom. But the problem is, a lot of times we bring this same mentality and mindset into our relationship with Jesus. When things are good and our prayers are getting answered and we're big fans of Jesus. But when things aren't going the way that we expected them to, we have to decide if we're going to devote ourselves to following him even through the hard times, or if we're going to look for fulfillment somewhere else. And in the first part of Luke chapter 9, Jesus fed like 20,000 people. The Bible says 5,000 men, but we understand it to be a lot more when you include women and children. Some of these people were people who had been following Jesus everywhere he went, hoping to see miracles and maybe get a free meal. They were Jesus's super fans, if you will. But a few verses after Jesus did this tremendous miracle, in Luke chapter 9, verse 23, he turns to this same crowd of people. He shared some information with his disciples. He's had kind of a little side conversation with Peter and then the rest of his disciples. And he turns to the crowd and he says, if any of you wants to be my follower, you must give up your own way, take up your cross daily, and follow me. Jesus is saying that following him is more than free meals and miracles. It is more than showing up in a church building or a live stream on Sundays and Wednesdays. It's even more than reading your Bible and praying every day. It's being committed, devoted to following him no matter what. And Jesus said two things, in this verse that I want to kind of break down real quickly before we move on to the rest of our time together tonight. The first thing he said is you must give up your own way. In other translations, it says you must deny yourself. What Jesus is saying here is that we have to move from being selfish to selfless. We have to be willing to sacrifice our own will for his will. We have to be willing to surrender to his plan and his purpose for our lives. It sounds easy, but it's incredibly hard because, Pastor Mark and I were talking about this today. At our core, every single one of us as human beings is inherently selfish. We want what we want. We want what's best for us. And so what Jesus is saying here is that, hey, if you want to be more than a fan, if you want to not just be a super fan, but if you want to be a committed, devoted follower of me, you have to give up your selfishness. You have to lay down your plans, your will, your desires, and be willing to do the things that I've called you to do, to be willing to live the way that I've called you to live. He says then you have to take up your cross daily. He's saying these things as equal because you can't do one without the other. You can't deny yourself or give up your own way without taking up your cross. And you can't take up your cross without denying yourself or giving up your own way. To follow Jesus, to be truly devoted and committed to him, it means choosing every single day to live a life that is based on sacrifice and surrender. It means seeing a road that we know leads to suffering, hence the cross. Anytime anyone picked up a cross, it led to suffering and pain and ultimately death. And choosing to walk that road anyway. And that doesn't sound pleasant, right? This isn't really like a super positive picture of what it means to follow Jesus. But that's what Jesus is saying. He's saying, listen, guys, following me, not just being a fan of me, not just showing up and lifting your hands in worship on Sunday mornings and reading all the good parts in the scriptures. That stuff's easy, right? That's what it means to be a fan. But to take all that, which that stuff's important. I'm not saying that that's bad. There's a ton of value in those things. But to take all of that to the next level, to become a true committed and devoted follower of me, that's not easy. And that won't always be fun. And it won't always be exciting. And it won't always make sense. And you're going to have to decide, is this who I want to be? Is this who I want to follow? In verses 24 and 25, he explains why it is needed to try to pick up our cross, to deny ourselves. He says, if you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world destroyed? So what Jesus is saying here is, you can't have new life without the old life ending. You can't be resurrected without being dead first. So what he's saying is we have to die to who we used to be. We have to die to our sinful, selfish desires and be resurrected into a new creation, a new person who is selflessly pursuing Jesus and all that he has for us, who is selflessly loving others and doing everything we can to light up the darkness around us. When we sacrifice our own desires, God will give us a greater life than we could ever imagine. And when I say greater life, I don't necessarily mean that we'll get all the things we've ever wanted and we'll be able to accomplish everything we ever dreamed or hoped, but our impact, our legacy, our our ability to light up the darkness around us will be so substantially greater than anything we could have ever done on our own. But too often, we try to follow Jesus without picking up the cross, or maybe not even picking up all the way. We're going to try to drag it behind us and kind of throw it over our shoulder. We try to follow Jesus without denying ourselves or giving up our own way. We give up some of our own ways. We try to negotiate. Like, hey, Jesus, I'll give up this and this and this and this, but I'm going to hold on to this and this. Okay, cool, and then I'll follow you, and that'll be great, right? That's not what he's saying. He said you have to give up yourself, take up your cross daily, and follow me. You have to sacrifice your own desires. We have to when we try to hold on to what we want, we'll miss out on what God has for us. You have to be willing to let go of your dreams for God to fulfill his promises. You have to be willing to let go of what you want in order for God to do the things in you that you were created for. And that's not always fun. And it's always scary. Even when it is exciting. Even when it is positive and you're pumped about it, it's scary. Man, it's scary to give up control. It's scary to just surrender and say, okay, Jesus, I've decided that I'm not going to be just a fan who cheers for you in the good times. I'm going to be a follower who sticks with you no matter what. See, it's not enough to be a fan of Jesus during our best imitation of him on Sundays and whenever else it seems convenient to us. We have to be willing to follow him as he changes us from the inside out to become more like him, not just act more like him. And after Jesus gave this message and a few more, the crowd started getting smaller. A lot of his fans decided to go stand somebody else because they weren't willing to be truly committed to Jesus and everything that he was all about. See, we have to understand it's not enough to stand Jesus. We have to stand for Jesus, follow in his footsteps, sacrifice daily, and follow him into the purpose and plan that we were created for. And I know that last sentence was really corny, okay? As I was writing it, I was like, man, this is kind of whack, but it's true. I'm even going to repeat that corny sentence. It's not enough to stand Jesus. We have to stand for Jesus. We have to stand for everything that he's about. We can't just be a fan and say, yeah, go Jesus, you're cool. Or we can't, kind of pick up the cross when it's convenient to us and set it down when nobody else is looking or when it's uncomfortable. We have to be willing to stand up for what we believe in, no matter where we go, no matter who we're with. That's what it means to follow Jesus. It means to deny ourselves, to deny our comfort, to deny our convenience, to deny our desires, and to chase after everything he has for us. That's devotion. That's commitment. That's moving from super fandom to true, committed, devoted follower. We're going to play one more game. We're going to jump to Zoom for just a couple minutes, but before we do either of those things, I want to pray for you guys real quick. Here we go. Hey, God, I just want to thank you for every single student and leader who's listening and watching tonight. I pray, God, that you would, I pray, God, that you would just help each of us to take that next step in our relationship with you. God, if there's some of us who are watching tonight who are kind of thinking through some things and like, man, am I a fan or am I really a devoted follower? Which am I? Am I going to be like Pastor Ian where he gives up on his favorite team because things aren't going the way that he thought? Or am I willing to stick with Jesus through thick and thin, through good and bad, through highs and lows, and become the person he's created me to be? And for those of us tonight who have realized that, hey, we're kind of still in that fan mode, God, I pray that you would help us to move into a place of following you greater than we ever have before, and that we begin to see you work and move in our lives, even through the difficult situations and circumstances, that we begin to just hold on to everything that you have for us and for our lives. In your name we pray. We all say, amen. All right. Jump to Zoom. We're going to play one more game, but I am going to put the link for Zoom in the comments if you want to jump in there and hop in the waiting room. The meeting hasn't officially started yet, but we got some other cool things we're going to do over there. One thing we're going to do is, something that a lot of people are super fans of is Disney movies. And so over the next several weeks, we're going to, not weeks, but days, we're going to do a bracket and try to figure out the best Disney animated movie of all time. I didn't make the brackets, but we're going to work it through it together. And so we're going to vote through the first round in our Zoom call. We've also got some other games you can play to win some points and prizes. And then we're going to play a really cool game all together at the end. all right, of that Zoom call. So that's happening in just a minute. The link is there if you need to download Zoom or whatever. While I'm finishing up, while we're doing this last game, you can do that. So another thing that I personally am kind of a super fan of is sneakers. And I know that sounds really weird, but if you ask my wife Tiana, she's going to tell you, that, and even my son, like, I've been watching a lot of sneaker YouTube videos. They even have a TV show on ESPN Plus about sneakers. Like, I love sneakers, I always have. But I haven't been able to really be a sneakerhead because just shoes are really expensive. But so I'm kind of finding my own lane as a sneakerhead. I have not paid full price for a pair of sneakers yet, and I don't know if I ever will. But we're going to play a game in just a second called, I forgot the name of the game. That's not what it's called, but called Payless or PayMore. But before we do that, oh, they left. Sorry, I was going to have you guys jump on there, Sarah and Abby. So if you want to play the other game, you can come back. But if not, no worries. I think maybe you clicked the wrong link there for Zoom or jumping on live. But whatever you want to do, if you want to jump back on a live, you can. Anyways, Payless or PayMore. We're going to play just a couple rounds of this. This is an everybody game. It's not it's not whoever gets it first. It's whoever guesses the correct answer. So if you're out there in YouTube land, you can play this game with us. Here's how it works. All right. These shoes have a resale value, not a retail value, because all of these shoes, the most that any of them sold for at retail is like $200, $250. And I can't even afford shoes that cost that much. But resale, some shoes resell for a whole lot more. So that's what we're looking at. We're going to decide if each of these pairs of shoes is reselling for more or less than $500. It's really that simple. So just in the comments, you're just going to write more or less. Okay? So the first one is this pair of shoes right here. Do you think that this pair of shoes sells for more or less than $500? Does it sell for more or less than $500? Just type your answer there in the comments. And we'll wait just a couple more seconds. All right, Holly says less, or Holland. Richard says less. Sarah says more. If Sarah and Abigail, I know you're watching together. If you do have different answers, you can say more, S, less, A. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, Abigail Brakefield says less. Okay, here we go. That's what I was talking about, Sarah. Abby says less. Alexis says more. You can do the same thing with Braylon if you want to, Alexis, or Will. I don't see Will answering either. So leaders, you're more than welcome to jump on and answer as well. But for this one, everybody's saying, most everybody is saying less, and the correct answer is less. All right, they actually sell for $65.15. These are what you call knockoffs and or Bobo shoes. I don't particularly like that name other than it's really fun to say. But anyways, they're not like a name brand shoe. I don't know what they are, but they're not a name brand shoe. Okay, this pair of shoes, does it sell for more or less than $500? Does this one sell more or less than $500 for this particular pair of shoes? Okay, we're just gonna wait a couple more seconds. All right, so we got somebody jumping on here. Holland says more. Will and Alexis both say less. Sarah and Abigail both say more. Richard says more. Braylon says more. Holland does say more. Said more. Did we lose you, Amira? Are you still out there? You're not answering. Abigail saying more. All right. Apparently, we lost Des as well, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe she just doesn't want to answer. Either one is fine. Here we go. I'm going to cut it off right there. And the answer on this one is more. All right, so when this game was originally made, these shoes, which are called the Air Yeezy Red Octobers, were selling for $5,611. At this point, though, they actually sell for anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000. $10,000 to $15,000. We're going to do 3 more pairs real fast before we jump over to the Zoom. All right, this one, let's go real quick. Less or more? Do you think these shoes cost less or more than $500? Less or more than $500? All right, Sarah and Abby are both saying less. Richard's going with less. Wait a couple more seconds here. All right, Amir, there you are. What's up, Amir? Amir's saying less. Abigail's saying less. All right, Braylon and Will are saying less. Alexis is saying more. Okay, I really have lost track of who all is out there, so we're gonna. Holland hasn't answered this question yet. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the answer is less. These are a Payless special, which is totally fine. I used to wear shoes from Payless all the time. $36.68. All right, two more. What about this one? Is it more or less than $500? More or less than $500? Haha. All right, more or less. All right, Amir is going with more. I don't know. Abby says more. Alexis says more. Sarah says more. Richard says less. Abigail says more. We'll wait a couple more seconds here for a few more people to jump on with their answers, or jump in with their answers. 5, 4, 3, 2. You can still answer if you hear me until I show you the answer here. But the answer is more. All right. These are the Air Jordan 1 Off-White UNCs. At the time this game was made, they were selling for about $1,100. Now they actually cost between $1,700 and $1,800. All right, one more pair. And then we're going to jump on over to Zoom. Okay, so the last one is this. What would you say this pair of shoes sells for? Less than $500 or more than $500? Less than $500 or more than $500 for this pair of shoes? Waiting just a couple more seconds here for some people to start answering. All right. Abby says less and Sarah says more. Richard's going with less. Holland's back and she's going with less. Abigail's going with less. Alexis is saying more. Wilfredo is saying more. And Braylon's saying more. Abigail is saying that's not an answer, just that they are weird looking. I don't know if I disagree or not. I'll tell you later kind of what I think about those. But I'll wait a couple seconds for you to give us an actual answer there, Abigail. And also while I text this password to somebody. Okay. All right. So the correct answer here is actually less. You guys were right. These are the Air Jordan 12 Deep Blues. And they look, to me, based on knowing what they are and what a lot of people pay for other pairs of Air Jordan 12s, I kind of thought they would be more when I was playing this game, but they act only retail, which is $200. Probably because a lot of people agree with Abigail that they are weird looking. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to once again drop this Zoom link in the comments. You get another 1,000 points just for showing up on our Zoom call. So if you're here tonight and you were on this YouTube Live, you already got 1,000 points. If you sent me a video or a picture of you wearing some sort of Superfan apparel, you get points for that as well. You get 2,000 points for that. But if you join us on Zoom, not only do you get another 1,000 points just for being on our Zoom call, but you also get the chance to win even more points and vote in the first round of our Disney polls. So I'm going to, I wish I did, JT. I only got 8 so far, but I'm on my way. Anyways, I'm going to close this YouTube Live out, or I'm going to kind of finish it off, and we're going to jump over to Zoom. So hopefully I will see every single one of you there in like 30 to 45 seconds. If you need some help, just text me or send me an Instagram message, or Amira, I'm pretty sure you have my number. If for some reason you have some problems with Zoom. So yeah, I'll see you guys in just a couple seconds.